Hey, what's going on, everybody? This your guy J Raw with another edition of the J Raw Wrestling Podcast. Today is doing a review for WWE NXT TV episode, which was last night, which was August 21st, 2019. But today is August 22nd, 2019. We wanted to make sure to say good morning, everybody. Real quick, want to get my plugs and shout outs out the way. Shout out my big bro DJ Hardcore from DJ Hardcore Productions. Don't forget the another installment of the Phenomenal Showcase franchise They Can't Do It Like Us, which is next Saturday, August 31st. Showtime start about 8:30, 9 o'clock. But you can get your tickets on eventbrite.com. Also, you can go to DJ Hardcore Productions and get your tickets and more information. Also, want to make sure to shout out all my Facebook groups that I'm involved with. Shout out to Russell Cave, my man Ace Porter, aka Geech Geech. What up? 30 Case. Don't forget the YouTube video me and 30 Case did. That's on One Struggle Radio. Just basically recapping the G1 Climax 29 tournament and also previewing the 2019 Super J Cup tournament that'll be going down starting today. Also, I'll make sure to shout out Pat with the Facts, Mike B. Jones, The White, Yasmin, MC Quick, and everybody else that's in Russell Cave. Also want to make sure to shout out True Hills, my man Sid Puller III, what up? Also the Marked Out Club. And once again, can't forget to shout out Fightful.com, where I got my review, recap, news, get all my news and results from Fightful.com. Shout out to SRS, Sean Rossett, and Jimmy Van Sant. You can make sure to go to Fightful.com. Make sure you subscribe to Fightful Select. They got a phenomenal extra service through Patreon, so make sure you check it out. Also, make sure you go to One Struggle Radio's Patreon. Check that out as well. All right, so without further ado, got all the shout outs and the plugs out the way. So we're going to go ahead and review the TV episode for NXT last night, which was pretty good. The show started out with a highlight package featuring Matt Riddle and Killian Dane from the TakeOver Toronto, and just recapping their little rivalry because they were the main event for tonight's episode. Alright, so the Undisputed Era comes out to the ring and start the show and talk about Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish nearly winning the NXT Tag Team Championships from the Street Profits. Now, before Adam Cole talks about defending his title, definitively defending his title against Johnny Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match, UE shows evidence that Kyle and Bobby Fish did not lose to the Street Profits and demand that William Regal make a rematch before they pose in the ring and leave up the ramp. But before they leave up the ramp, they're interrupted by the winner of the NXT Breakout Tournament, Jordan Miles, who's holding a contract for a shot at the NXT Championship. Adam says there's nothing worse for a young career than wasting a championship opportunity before saying he'll make him a failure. Jordan then tosses the contract at Adam before leaving. Alright, so next up we get an interview segment with Bronson Reed at the Performance Center before he's interrupted by fellow Aussie Shane Thorne, and they set up a match between the two of them for later on the night on NXT. Alright, so first matchup was Mansoor versus Damian Priest, formerly known as Punishment Martinez. Alright, the match starts with Damian drops Mansoor and tosses him out of the ring, but he skins the cat and slides through his legs before Damian drops him with the right hand. Mansoor nearly gets a fall off of an inside cradle before a choke slam and hitting an enziguri before sending Damien out of the ring. Mansoor hits a flipping senton and tosses Damien back into the ring, hitting a slingshot neckbreaker and go for a tornado DDT. Before Damien turns him inside out with a lariat and hits a razor's edge powerbomb. Then Damien hits the Reckoning for the pin in the win. So there you have it. Damian Priest going over on Mansoor. Real quick, I like Damian Priest's new finisher. Even though it's like a version of the Crossroads and Nikki Cross finisher, but Bando Punishment is about 6'7", 6'8". His finisher comes off pretty nice, so I like it. And it was good to see Mansoor on TV. We haven't seen him since I think the tapings after the Greatest Royal Rumble or whatever the Saudi show was. That was the last time we seen Mansoor. So it was good to see Mansoor on TV. Alright, so they show a highlight promo package stating that NXT will be moving to the USA Network starting September 18th. And when I do the J-Raw Weekly Podcast episode either tonight or tomorrow, I'll go into a little bit more detail about that new deal with USA moving NXT to Wednesday nights to kind of combat AEW's premiere on TNT on Wednesday night when they go live. So should be pretty interesting. Alright, so next up we get a match between Mia Yim and Vanessa Bourne with Aaliyah accompanying Vanessa Bourne to ringside. Alright, so the match starts off with Vanessa drops Mia with a kick to the midsection and locking a headlock before Mia drops her with the shoulder block and hits her in the throat before Aaliyah distracts her by grabbing her foot. Vanessa hits a Samoan drop for a quick 2 count and traps Mia in the ropes before kicking her in the back. Vanessa slaps Mia, who is taken down, and wails on her with the right hand before chopping her in the corner and tossing her across the ring by her hair. Mia then hits her finisher, Eat the Feet, before the pin to win. And there you have it, with Mia Yim hitting her finisher, going over on Vanessa Bourne. Match was a typical women's division match, nothing spectacular. Trying to build Mia Yim back up to make her a credible contender once again, going up against Shayna Baszler. Now, after the match, Shayna Baszler comes out onto the stage and says that Mia is a bad you know what, and talks about how much of a fight she put her through before trying to invite her to join the horsewomen. But Mia turns it down, and before Marina and Jessamine Duke attack and lay out Mia. Alright, so next we get a video package for the rivalry between Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic, announcing their match for next week. Alright, so after that video package, we get a match between Bronson Reed and Shane Thorne. Alright, now the match starts out with Shane uses Reed's aggression against him, avoiding him for several minutes before Reed takes him down and sits on his back, and before Shane lays into him with kicks. Now Reed counters a drop kick into a sit-down powerbomb and hits a running knee strike in the corner before Shane counters with the military press slam and rains down strikes on Reed until the referee forces him to back off. Shane hits a PK to Reed's back and mocks him before drop kicking him and hitting a running drop kick into a cannonball for a near fall. Bronson comes back with the power slam and a clothesline into a running senton before hitting several running splashes into the corner. Shane rolls out of the ring right after and tries to leave. Now Reed drags Shane back into the ring before Shane knocks Reed from the top and hitting a shining wizard for the pin to win. So there you have it. Shane Taylor hitting the Shining Wizard and defeating Bronson Reed via pinfall. Alright, now after the match, our boy the Velveteen Dream comes out to the stage onto his couch and says he can beat one person, 3 people, or the entire locker room before leaving. Alright, so next up, the NXT Championship match between Adam Cole and Jordan Miles is announced for 2 weeks from tonight's show. In the NXT Tag Team Championship rematch is announced for next week's show between the United Undisputed Eras, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, going up against the champs, the Street Profits. Alright, so next up we get the main event for tonight's show, which is Matt Riddle versus Killian Dane. Alright, so the match starts out with Matt attacks Dane from behind and kicks him in the corner before Dane tosses him out of the ring, and Matt rushes right back in before sending Dane out of the ring with the Ingazuri. Matt hits a flying forearm off of the stairs before chopping him once they're back in the ring, and Dane hits a running crossbody before suplexing Matt for a quick 2 count. Dane locks in an abdominal stretch and knees Matt in his injured ribs before driving his boot into them and standing on Matt. Now Matt comes back with a fisherman buster before a running forearm in the corner and an exploder suplex and a senton for a 2 count before elbowing Dane in the side of the head. Matt hits a deadlift German suplex and a final flashing knee before Dane hits a shotgun drop kick into a cannonball for a near fall before slamming Matt down. Matt locks in a sleeper before Dane tosses him off of his back, and Matt hits a GTS for another final flash for a very close near fall before Matt misses a Phoenix Splash, and Dane sends him into the ring post and out of the ring. Matt sends Dane into the ring steps before Dane drops him face first across them and hits a running senton onto Matt onto the steps before hitting a Vader bomb off the apron. Dane then rolls Matt back into the ring and hits three more Vader bombs off of the top rope for the pin to win. And in surprising fashion, you have Killian Dane going over on Matt Riddle with 3 Vader bomb splashes. Alright, and that was pretty much last night's episode of NXT, which was okay, just furthering storylines from TakeOver Toronto that happened about 2 weekends ago. Overall, the J Raw Wrestling Podcast scale, I give it about 3.75 stars out of 5, which was, a little bit above average. I like how they setting up the championship match between Jordan Miles, formerly known as ACH, going up against Adam Cole. And of course, everybody know Adam Cole baby is going to win that. So, and next week we get the rematch between the Street Profits and Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. And I'm not going to spoil it because y'all know I don't do spoilers on here. So you just got to wait till next week's episode to find out what happens. Fortunately, we already know what happened if you watch Monday Night Raw. But, it is what it is. Alright, so being though that is the end of the NXT review for last night's episode, which was August the 21st, 2019. I'm just going to go ahead and wrap up this episode of the NXT recap. Real quick, I want to give out my shout outs. I want to shout out first and foremost CEO and the president of DJ Hardcore Productions. DJ Hardcore, my brother in crime. Make sure you guys come out next Saturday, August 31st, to another installment of They Can't Do It Like Us. 700 West Tabor Road is the location. Y'all should know that by now, much as I've been plugging it on here since April. But you guys make sure, you get your tickets off of Eventbrite.com. Just type in the search engine, They Can't Do It Like Us, or DJ Hardcore Productions. Then you'll be able to get your tickets and check out the VIP packages for next Saturday night, which is going to be a pretty phenomenal show. Also, want to make sure to shout out the VP, my blood brother, Notes G. Also, shouting out Reno Bryce, Flames, the Vet, Super K, and the rest of the One Struggle family. Also, shouting out all the Facebook wrestling groups I'm involved with, and my main brothers in arms in this podcasting game. That would be Russell Cave. Make sure you check Russell Cave out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, everywhere else all the streaming podcast platforms are. Make sure you support. Don't forget, got a video up with 30Ks from Russell Cave recapping the G1 Climax 29 tournament and also previewing the 2019 Super J Cup for New Japan. That'll be going down this weekend starting tonight. Also want to make sure shout out the White, Yasmin, Pat with the Facts, MC Quick, and everybody else involved with Russell Cave Facebook group. Also can't forget out my peoples from Marked Out Club. Also True Hills. What up, Sid Polar III? What up, baby boy? I see you. Also, don't forget my Facebook group, Women and Boys Shorts. That's where you can get this episode and all the latest episodes of the J Raw Wrestling Podcast, news, and other great features, and seeing some bomb-looking women, especially female wrestlers. I got to make sure to do my female wrestler of the week up on there. So make sure y'all go to my Facebook group, Women and Boys Shorts. All right, so that's wrapping up today's episode of the NXT recap from last night's episode, August 21st, 2019. Today is August 22nd, 2019. It's a Thursday. Probably later on this evening or tomorrow, I'll record the weekly podcast. So make sure you go to castbox.fm.com. Check that. Also, check us out at One Struggle Radio or SoundCloud.com. Also on YouTube. Make sure you check us out on that as well. All right, so without further ado, go ahead and end today's episode of NXT Review. Hope everybody enjoyed a Thursday. And look out for the J Raw Weekly Wrestling Podcast, either dropping tomorrow or sometime this weekend. All right, peace.